Hey, that's me. As a family, we moved around a bit, but some of my fondest memories were when I used to live in the west side of Edmonton. I remember never really wanting to stay at home by myself because, well, it frankly sucked. I was an only child, and my parents were always working at restaurants when I was growing up, and, I could only play Street Fighter 2 Turbo so many times before I was sick of Ed Bison's stupid head stomp and Psycho Crusher. But whatever, I had my neighbors, and it was awesome that they were all around the same age, because biking with them to the nearest convenience store to get Slurpees and pepperoni sticks was really a core memory that I'd never forget. I know all that freedom and fun sounds like a pretty sweet childhood, but it got lonelier when we moved to the Terwillegar area. It was further away and isolated from the street hockey and basketball with my neighbors. Sometimes we'd go out for dim sum where I got to see my cousins or childhood friends, but with my parents' hectic work schedules, that was few and far between, and pizza pops or microwave dinners were really the norm. Be lucky to have dinner together with them once a week, and sometimes I wondered what it would have been like if we had a bigger family.
I haven't had a 10-course meal in a long time either, honestly. Like, it's kind of nice to sit down and celebrate
Yeah.
and like enjoy these meals as a community, because it's like, I don't know, how often are people open to eating 10 different courses in one sitting? So,
How often do you go to 10 course?
Like never.
Never?
once in a while, I mean, when there's like birthday celebrations or New Year's and we don't want to cook, or like newborn babies. So either like their 30 days, which is 1 year, or their 100-day celebration, people will usually do 10 course, or like weddings is a big one, but I think we're mostly past that age now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, even my sister did her wedding at a Chinese restaurant, did the 10 course. So, what was yours like growing up?
I feel like we usually go for like birthdays or Mother's Day. We usually, I think I grew up on like Golden Rice Bowl, so we always still go back there. It was like, whenever we do the 10 course, it's got like the lobster with the cream sauce. So it's always like my favorite.
Were you more picky with 10 course meals because you grew up in like a cooking household?
No, not really.
No?
No.
What about your dad? Would he be picky?
No, not really. I think we would always just get the standard like crab and lobster and stuff like that. But, yeah, not really like picky or anything.
Okay. Did you eat the fat in the shell? No. That's how you do it. Amy, Miles, thank you so much for being on our series. We wanted to bring Lingnan into our series because there's so much history and significance to the community, especially in central Edmonton. We would love for you to maybe share a little bit of that history, and we have more questions to come too.
You want to do the history?
Oh, the history, I'm too young to talk about the history, come on. Okay, our restaurant started in 1947, right? Start with Miles' grandpa and the brothers together. And then after that, 1963, we moved to this location. This year will be our 77th anniversary. We just celebrated 2 years ago our 75th anniversary, right?
Yes. And then my mom and my dad would be second generation, and I would be third generation, taking over running the Lingnan restaurant. But ultimately, we're just a family business, doing family things.
So do you feel that, like growing up in the restaurant business, like family time is probably less, like when you were a kid? Do you feel that now with like your kid, you want to spend a lot more family time with your daughter?
That's a great question, because it's like back when I grew up with my family, other people might see, oh, you guys don't go on vacation, you guys don't go camping, you guys don't do this, you guys don't do this. We were insulated. We were in the restaurant. We were grandmas that didn't speak English took care of us. My mom took care of us. We were in the restaurant. So we never did anything like that. We never went on vacations. We didn't do much. And it's not because I fault my family for not doing it. It's just we weren't in the position to do it. And it wasn't about money. It was about time. Same thing. My parents still go through that. Although I can run the restaurant, they still choose not to go on vacation. They still choose to do very little things. But for me, I'm the total opposite. I take my 4-month daughter to this, and we went to Disneyland. We just got back from Mexico. We went on a cruise. I take her on everything because I see like I didn't get that opportunity when I was a kid, and my mom's giving me this opportunity because she's watching the restaurant, and I can go and I take full advantage because kids talk about those things when they talk about those things, and those are the memories. My memory is our one vacation. We went to SeaWorld. My dad got gout, and I pushed him around. Like that's my whole childhood story. Like, but it's vivid.
Yeah.
So you know, it's everybody's unique situation. Other people see, oh man, it's such a tough childhood. No man, I had a great childhood. It's just that it is what it is, and I'm just going to give my daughter a different experience.
Right.
I mean, you spoke of memories, and given how much time you spend here, what were your versions of celebrations? Like we're, Chinese growing up, you sit at the table, you have the 10-course meal, it's 新年啊, 聖誕啊, 生日啊, whatever, birthdays and everything, New Year's. Did you do something similar still, or were you busy helping other people celebrate?
Well, we definitely help other people celebrate, but we do those things. We do those things. We used to go to a place, we used to call that All Happy. What is it called, that restaurant? Just right over here. Not All Happy. It was way before, probably way before any of your times. Was it called Happy Garden? Was that the one you had?
Not Happy Garden.
No, it was called something
Happy,
else. Phi Law, it was used to be
Phi Law.
called, okay? That was a long time ago. It's just over there.
107 Avenue, that one.
That was when we went. That's when
Oh
that's
my
when we went.
gosh.
So when we were young,
Yeah.
that's where we went. That's why we have such terrible cholesterol. Because all we had was a 10-course classic, lobster crab meal,
Yeah.
and that's how we celebrated special
Yes,
events.
yes.
And those would be, like not rare occasions, but like on occasion that my dad might be off, so like a random Monday.
Yes.
But we do have those, and those are ingrained in me in my childhood. We actually do less of that in our adult life now than we used to do it, just because it didn't. But it was a core thing that we used to do.
Right.
But we do celebrate like
Chinese Day we
mostly
do.
other people's birthdays.
Yeah, I always take them out on Chinese New Year, right? We go to Chinese restaurant to have the Chinese like 10-course lobster, something like that.
When we were kids, now it's not the same.
No, it's not the same.
Well, number one, we don't believe that there is anything as good, like as good as what used to be. Because in between the Lingnan, we had a tragedy in our family, and then I ran the Dynasty Century Palace upstairs. And that's classic Cantonese style. And it's just like, I ran it. It's just still not the same, and we do a lot of parties for people. But yeah, you mentioned that. We used to do celebrate. Few and far, like it was not too often, but we do. Those are memories as well.
Yeah.
We wanted to learn more about the history of food when we're talking about memories, and what's the story behind these dishes in front of us in terms of the memories you've helped the community create?
Okay, we should talk about long time before.
Yeah, we'll start with the back.
Back to 1947.
We'll start back in 1947. I'm very passionate about this kind of cuisine because it identifies Chinese Canadians, the first generation that came with nothing on their backs, faced lots of racism from the government and everybody, but we still managed to go forward. So this is a classic Chinese chop suey. That's a chicken chop suey. It's made with bean sprouts, literally made with whatever they can find to make a Chinese dish. So that's Chinese chop suey. Funny story, the other side of my family started the first bean sprout factory in Edmonton. And I think this room is where they used to do bean sprouts. This is what I heard. But yeah, there's a connection there. It's no longer part of a family. That side has sold it. That's the chicken chop suey. Another big classic is the lemon chicken. So everybody knows the lemon chicken, right? You can't find it anywhere in Hong Kong or China. That's another classic that the first generations have developed. This is survival food. This is how we're going to make money. This is how we're going to sell it to all the European Canadians. And the final dish here is diced almond chicken. Again, has celery in it, which is not a vegetable commonly used in China, but here we dice it all up and we stir fry it, and there's almonds on top. So these dishes are a staple in the Lingnan, and I'm very proud of them. Other people diss it and they say it's not real Chinese, it's not this, it's not that. It's not trying to be anything other than a delicious dish, you know? And it's not anything that we can get rid of because our customers love it.
This one.
Oh, the dry garlic ribs, another
This is the
thing.
1947.
From a dish from like the 40s and stuff, like dry garlic ribs, just pork ribs.
Yeah.
We deep fry them, we put a seasoning on them. That's a good one. These are appetizers typically. Another one is a deep fried wonton. So deep fried wonton is classic. We have pork in ours, and it uses a wonton wrapper. Something that they don't do in China is like to deep fry them. But that's a classic. It comes with a sweet and sour sauce, the same sauce as the lemon chicken. And this is a spring roll. This is maybe a little bit further, we're going to move on to like the Hong Kong style. So this spring roll is full of pork. It's very common at dim sum, and this is kind of like more of a Hong Kong style because it's only meat in there. So that, and then we're going to go on to the Hong Kong. So
Is the flatter version a Hong Kong style
that's right.
too? Less
More of a
round?
dim sum style.
Yeah.
And the flatter version, I believe, came about because it's just faster to cook.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the wonton soup again is a very long time one. This is a war wonton that says hearty greens in it, and our own custom, like the wontons we wrap here ourselves, and the barbecue pork we also cook in-house. That's another very popular dish, and it's a classic Chinese dish. Maybe like Chinese people usually don't go for wonton soup. Usually it's wonton and like noodles, but like our customers, and it's great. It's great to start.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's like the beginning of Chinese food in like the early 1900s to the 40s. Like this is what we had. I wanted to showcase our food through immigration. It's not just what we do best. So we're going through. So the next stage of immigration would be the Hong Kongers immigrating to Canada. That because of instability in China taking over Hong Kong. When the Hong Kong went back to China, all that kind of stuff. But lots of immigration came way before that through schools and studies. So right now we have lots of inspired dishes from Hong Kong or that kind of style. It's the classic, we call this a Chinese style chow mein. So it's the yellow egg noodle that's been fried crispy with a heavy sauce on it with chicken. We call this gai pi le mi wong. That's the Chinese way of saying it. That's a classic Hong Kong style dish. Usually they don't put broccoli and stuff in it. Usually it's with like gailan or choy sam, stuff like that. But we decided, we make it our own, So that's a very classic Hong Kong style dish. Another one is a seafood. We have a seafood bird's nest. The bird's nest is made of potatoes. Lots of labor in that one, but that's another classic Hong Kong banquet dish. Like when you have a banquet, you have that dish. And finally, we have a yang chow fried rice, which is another banquet dish. Usually comes out at the end. I don't know why. It's my pet peeve, but that's a big, and the features in that is like the rice is white. It's been stir fried with no soy sauce or very little soy sauce. And there's shrimp and barbecue pork, and sometimes there's scallops in it, but we don't have scallops in ours. And then now we get into the 2000s, where you have lots of money in mainland China, mostly from northern China, even middle China, just anything not Canton, we call that northern China. We call that China. So those dishes are typically hot. So we like to do it like that too. So we have a classic mapo tofu. Okay, has a numbing peppers in it. It has all that has all the chili oil in it that we make in-house. So that's a classic dish. We don't do it exactly like how China does it because we still have to appeal to our customers. In China, it'd be 100% chili oil and 200% Szechuan numbing peppercorns.
Really oily.
Really oily.
Really oily.
We don't do that because it's not in our customers' palate. We still have to make money. We can't be like, oh, that's real Chinese food. You don't like it? Get out of here. No. So we do that. A classic way, like another way of explaining it is that we have a Beijing, it's a kung pao chicken. I don't know why I named it Beijing kung pao chicken. I named it Beijing because it separates from the American version. Kung pao chicken is not from Beijing, but anyway. Yeah. So it's kung pao chicken. Usually kung pao chicken is, again, very spicy and it's chock full of peanuts. Big peanut allergy here, right? So we decided to go with cashews. And that's why we do it. We morph it to our own. So it's like uniquely ours. And finally, we have another classic one, which is la ji gai ding in Cantonese, la ji ji ding in Mandarin. And that's a classic Sichuan dish, right? Here in China, I'm not sure if you guys had it, it's all like chicken nuggets and wings. It's like 90% peppers and 10% bone. There's no meat in it. So we had that in China, and then I'm like, hey man, like nobody's gonna eat that here and be happy, you know? Like nobody's gonna take $23 and eat niblets, like the wing corn end. So we did, it's all dark meat. Everyone is a piece of meat. It's like Cantonese, dam dam yo. And that's what I think my customers want. We also tone down the heat a little bit, but it's very delicious. So I just want to showcase to everybody that we do all multi-year, like this is a love letter to the Chinese population. We just want to do what we want to do. And
just
we
like a
doing it.
family,
Like, this is just a family, and
Yeah.
there's no pretenses when it comes to here. It's whatever it is, right? It could be we can be chop suey house. We can be a Hong Kong diner. We can also be a northern Chinese Mandarin-based kind of stuff. We can be a classic speakeasy cocktail bar. We can be a very fine wine restaurant. Like we've done everything, and that makes us unique because we can do whatever we want. Like I can do whatever I want. Yeah, like we're not just a Chinese. I've hosted a gluten-free. We literally hosted a
last week.
gluten-free event. Like the whole restaurant's just this whole back was celiac event.
Association.
We've hosted like crazy wine groups to come in to pair with their wines. So yeah, we do wine tastings. We do a lot of stuff here. So and because we're so flexible.
Yes.
And you've also done collaborations with other people in the city, right?
Yeah.
Like there was a recent one as well?
We did a recent collab with Little Wolf, my friend Sean, and that's where we went and did some of the dishes. I've known Sean for a long time. I've known there was 3 boards. I was in there helping them smash walls. All those guys are very good friends. Brian, the owner, they're all very good friends of mine. So the restaurant community is tight, but the restaurant community for Chinese people is lonely. It's very lonely. You only have your few Chinese friends from those restaurants, and they're all competitors. It's very lonely, right? But for me, I get to branch out using the great name of the Lingnan and connecting with other people, you know, and then we help each other. So I think that that keeps us relevant, it keeps us fresh, and honestly, it keeps me engaged in the restaurant community because doing this it's tough, man. It's tough. Like, you know, you want a 9 to 5, man. People working remote. I don't know how I can run a restaurant remote.
So that's why you're the boss of the restaurant, okay?
Yeah, because I can. Man, I wish I could do
everything.
remote and watch my kid. But that's not my reality right now. So I take as much time as I can, and we do the best we can and make it as fun as we can. Because unfortunately, it's not going to last forever.